everyone, my name is Carly Owens. I am an artist based in Boulder, Colorado, and welcome to my studio. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to show everyone around today, and huge thank you to Craft Council for giving me the opportunity to be able to share this space with you all. So let's take a look. So this is my studio. I currently work in an artist collective called House of Saran that's based in Boulder. And we work out of this really lovely 17th century house, and all of the rooms in it have been converted into artist studios. And as you can see, I have a pretty nice view out of my window. So over here we have my main embroidery domain. You can see on my desk I have some supplies and some pieces, both finished and in progress, that'll be available for Baltimore Craft Week. So one of my favorites are the Antoinette earrings, and these are a new design. So you guys will have first dibs for these at Baltimore Craft Week. And these are goldwork hand-embroidered eyes with Swarovski and freshwater pearls. And then these are on gold-filled hardware. And then the backing is this really lovely oyster-colored rayon silk velvet. And I love the noise that these make. These are some in-progress pieces. And here you can kind of see the difference between the sizes. So we have my standard size here and then the minis. And these are the mini flora earrings. And again, they're goldwork hand embroidered, and they have check glass bead fringe and Swarovski pearls, and these are on rose gold filled hardware. So now I figured I'd give you guys a little insight into my embroidery process. As you can see here, we have a piece that's in its very early stages. You can see that underneath the embroidery is a layer of felt padding, and that's what I use to give a lot of dimension to my pieces. And so the embroidery itself is going to have a natural curvature very similar to like an actual eye. And this kind of gives you insight as to how I do the gold work as well. So the wire itself comes in this form. It's very long and tubular, and it's hollow. So what I do is I just drape it over the felt, cut it to whatever length I need, and then you stitch through it very similar to a bead. But then, each little piece is an individual stitch, and then I'll just carry that through until it's finished. And then once that's done, I'll add the additional embellishment around the eye and then finish it off with the iris. If you ever have any sort of metal allergy or sensitivity, or even just prefer one metal to another, you can always just send me an email and I will do my very best to accommodate you. And if you go to my website, there's a link to my shop page. It's really easy because for me, it's always a cup of tea. I use it to I just make it and I sit down and I relax and I enjoy it, and that just really helps me get into a creative headspace. So my influences kind of come from all over the place. My eye pieces specifically, they're really inspired by the Victorian era because they had these lover's eyes portraiture. And just like the Victorian like adornments and embellishments in jewelry back then, because there were always these weird and quirky motifs. In terms of background, I studied art and design with a concentration in fibers at NC State. And that required me to take a few classes in art history, but nothing super extensive. But I'm always, looking online at art. Whenever, I can go to museums and whatnot and galleries, I do that. But yeah, overall, I'm kind of always looking at a bunch of different things, and all of those kind of, interconnected or not, rub off on to me and what I'm doing in my work. I think the biggest hurdle is that before the pandemic I was traveling a lot to do in-person events and shows, and once the pandemic hit, all of that stopped, and so I was no longer able to reach audiences or new audiences through meeting people directly, which is what I prefer. Really had to get comfortable with using social media and digital technology tools, which really aren't my forte. And I'm still learning a lot about how to use these in order to connect to new audiences, but really just not being able to meet people in person was a big hurdle. And in terms of what we can do to support you in your professional goals, it's really the small things. So like following me on Instagram, sharing my work, things like that, because it's, you know, we all know someone and that someone knows someone else, and it's, you know, this interconnected web. And so just doing small things like that really help, you know, expose artists to new audiences and new people, and can really do wonders for something that is just so simple and easy to do. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to go onto this tour with me and welcoming me into your homes. I'm just so excited to be participating in Baltimore Craft Week, and I can't wait to see you all there virtually. Bye!